So when this Prevost came in, we were a little concerned about the transmission on it. It had a pretty good leak on it. Somebody had smeared Permatex all over the bottom of the transmission on one side. So we were concerned that maybe the bolt holes were stripped out for the oil filters that are internal on this. That's a common problem with these. So we're about ready to find out if we're gonna have to helicoil them or what we're gonna have to do, but we'll see if maybe it's just loose bolt or a bad gasket on it. But the fact that somebody smeared like a whole tube of Permatex across the bottom, I peeled it off in a sheet, the Permatex on it. And then there was a crossbar that went under the transmission. It looks like either somebody tried to jack the bus up with it, this little cross member, or the bus aired down on something and it bent it up into the transmission. And I certainly hope it didn't crack the transmission case because it looks like it's touching it. It would have been a lot of force on that. So maybe the leak's coming from a crack. So we're gonna get into a good look on this transmission, Allison B500, and see what's going on. And then it had a real bad oil pan leak that we're gonna get into too, and replace the oil pan gasket, and then the filler tube had a leak as well. We'll go ahead and take this bar thing off of here. So we'll soak it and soak these nuts, bolts in Croil here. We'll take the bar off and we'll put it on the press and try and straighten it out in the press. It's got quite a bend to it. And it's definitely touching the transmission. I hope it hasn't cracked that case. Just checking for tightness. I suppose you can go the loosen direction and see how loose they are. That's pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go to the next one.
That one's pretty loose.
Like crazy?
Yeah, I just cracked it loose.
Okay. That's tight. 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 Tight.
These two are loose.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Will it go
this
tight?
one I would say was loose. This one I broke loose.
Yeah, that one seemed pretty snug. Try and tighten that one that was loose. Let's see if it snugs up or if it's stripped out. If it's getting tight. It's getting tight? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That one too? Okay. Well, we may be in luck. Let's get the pans under here and we'll take the filter. Let's try not to take a bath. I would start to pull that down a little bit. Well, you got a little bit of bolt there still. Two. Come this way a little bit more. Right there. So there's Permatex hanging down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody reuse old O-rings in this thing and then put Permatex on it. I mean, that's why it was leaking. I mean, there was the whole cut bottom was covered in Permatex. I peeled it off. Probably go ahead and take that bolt out now.
It's funny looking color.
It has a very weird color. I'll take that filter. Permatex, that's good. I don't know why it was hanging on there though. Unless that was from when they smeared it around.
That or it was leaking and they tried.
Yeah, they just smeared it around the outside of it. So far, so good though. So far, they're all about the same torque. Drop the bolt in there. At least you did it before it was full of fluid. Still draining the filter there. I'll go ahead and take it.
Doesn't matter if they mix up or no.
I'm gonna keep them separate, but no. Okay, we got that cross member off. You can see where the transmission was sitting on it, so it was definitely touching it. But it's got a bend and a bow to it. We'll try to get straightened out in the press. The only stuff that was on that plug is a little bit of just some thin, almost pasty stuff. So that's good. No big chunks of anything. Fine, very, very fine metal stuff. He's bending it. Check it there. Still got.
It's definitely bending it.
Yeah, keep going. It's getting there.
Pull it out.
Yeah, pull it out. Let's take a look at it. It's definitely better than it was. How much did it snap back is the question. This way so we can see the bend. That's definitely better.
Mm-hmm.
one more pump just so when it bends back a little. It's way better than it was.
Looks like the one they use.
Yeah. Tap it in some more. Is there crap in it? I can see it looks like it's so damn near stripped out already.
Yeah.
Is it 1/2 inch?
Yeah.
We'll try this. Don't need that, just stick the impact in it.
No, I'd rather break this than the impact.
Oh.
Tear it up.
You missed.
I should have this other one open.
Can you see how much is in there?
Let's see to the where I can't see it yet. Oh no! I couldn't go that way.
It's too tall. Why do they have to make a bucket different dimensions than a regular 5-gallon bucket? Is the other one pretty much so full?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got there quicker. I thought it was. Well, I think I'm keeping myself flat. Hammer.
It should be empty unless there's a kink in it or something. Unless it goes back up. Does it go downhill and then back uphill like a U shape, or does it go straight into it?
I go straight. I'm trying to find out.
Yeah. I didn't say it is. I said it should be. This is the oil drain that goes to the alternator, oil-cooled alternator. That's what runs back into the pan. We gotta take that off before we take the pan off.
Hard done. Where's it doing that? The one line's trying to turn from time to time, but it is turning it.
I think you're off now.
Yeah. do something with that. It goes back on.
Won't be able to start it by hand, that's for sure.
No.
Go the loosen direction in it, maybe it'll or the tight. We'll let the coil soak on it. These are the special fittings, the adapters that we had to get to go into that brake chamber down there. So that'll take it from that hydraulic type fitting that's metric to an NP3 fitting. And, had to make it so complicated. So you can see by the oil all in between there that it's been leaking around that gasket. And the bolts that came out were all oily too. So we're gonna replace that gasket. Get everything cleaned up, clean that pan out. The good news is there's no debris that I see down in there, nothing on the magnets on the thing, but we'll just get it cleaned out real good. So on the corner of this block, there's some seams, like right there. Another one there. The same thing on the front side, I think, up there. And obviously on that side, you're supposed to put a little smear of Permatex on there, even though the gasket's a good gasket, but you got to get it up in that crack. That'll stop it from leaking. And then we're going to replace that gasket there with that oil fill there has been leaking. See, there's another seam right there. Just a little one. And let's see, it's over there too. You gotta put just a smear of Permatex there. You can see how it's all clean back behind there, running down the bell housing there. That's because it's been leaking and the oil's been running down there and washing it clean. A little bit of debris in the filler pickup tube there, but it's like a chunk of stuff. clean that out just because we're here looking at it. The spacers all have a lot of weird corrosion on them. I was going to replace them, but it was going to be $400 instead of $150 to do them because they were going to be $75. They didn't have them. They're going to come from the factory, so $75 shipping from the factory to my supplier, and then plus like $15 a piece. These are all shot. So I ordered these. So it was like $150 for the full set of them, the shipping and everything. We'll have them here on Thursday, but yeah, I don't want to. These keep the tension, the right tension on there, and they're pretty messed up. So we're gonna replace all these. These I'll just clean up. There's a spacer, they go between here and here. I just run some sandpaper around it and clean it up so it doesn't chew it up. And then the bolts are all in good shape. But yeah, it was gonna be over $400 if I replaced it with these, and then just these was only like $150 or something with shipping, FedEx.
Yeah.
So this is the filler tube gasket we're replacing. It's been leaking in there. You can see the oil's been coming down through there. So we'll get that cleaned up and we'll make a new gasket for it. They didn't have that in the parts catalog, but we'll just take a piece of gasket material on it and a ball peen hammer and knock one out. Just take a few minutes. That's that whole big filler tube. Reassembled every bit of this, putting sealant on all these pipe thread joints, just in case they were leaking too, and then we'll have the new gasket for that. Should be good. Okay, we got the oil pan all cleaned up good, ready for its new gasket. We just gotta wait for the new parts to come in for the oil pan bolts there. This is for the DDEC 3 Series 60 that's on here. So it's one of those non-emissions ones. That's a good quality Series 60 to have. All right, so this Prevo has needed a lot of work. And we got rid of one Prevo and we got another one that just came in today over there. Lots of Prevos lately.